Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Jewels on the Rise. I am Judah Bernard with the Rise, creating your voice, the wisdom dialogue and the motivational warrior on the Rise, creating your voice. I see we have our good person on here, Jules, mentoring LLC. Want her to come in so we can get this on the rise, and she is arriving right now. I'm just saying hello to everyone. I don't know
Hello.
why we're looking so far down, and you still
I have
missed
the
it. Remember, go ahead and buy those badges below too, as well as we get our girl turned around so she won't be twisted. What we're talking about is you know what? Let's go ahead and introduce our co-host, which is Miss Rhonda. Rhonda, go ahead and tell everybody. I want you to tell them what you do, tell them about Jules, and also our
Hey
today's topic.
everybody. As he said, I am Rhonda and I am a licensed social worker, but I'm also a certified life coach. And I have a mentoring agency called Jewel Mentoring LLC, where I mentor children 6 to 17 and life coach 18 and up. Um, Today's show is going to be a little challenging, but it's going to be truthful. And we're going to talk about, is it challenging or is it you?
Oh, is it challenging,
Oh,
or we
is
gonna
it
say is it
complicated? Yeah.
complicated? It's complicated,
I'm sorry.
or
Yes. Is
is
it
it you?
complicated or is it you?
Yes. So we want to make sure that we have the opportunity to invite other people in. So if you want to join in the conversation, we want you to come on board too as well. So we're definitely going to start off. And I don't know if you know how to actually get in and join in, but you can go to the little thing and request to join in so we know that you want to come in and have a word for us too as well. So I want to start off with the definition of complicated. Complicated to me is someone or something that is hard to understand or something that is hard to untangle. So I think for me is I could be hard to understand to myself. So I still have to understand what part of my understanding that I really don't understand. And is it me or is it actually the whole situationship or relationship that I'm in that may be hard to understand? So is it complicated or is it me? And we want to come from a biblical perspective. And what does that mean to everyone? So I know we want to talk about the Israelites and when they were in exile. So let's
Well,
go with that.
earlier this week I was doing some reading, and I realized that when the children, well, the Israelites was in exile in Babylon, Jesus God spoke a word over them, and he told them to build houses and to plant gardens, get married, have babies, make grandbabies, and that was very intriguing to me. Like, you in exile, but yet you still have the power to produce and build and make things happen. So it made me think about when people are in difficult situations, why don't we have the same mindset that even though we're in this and it's challenging and it's complicated, why don't a lot of us have the mindset to continue to build in the midst of us being in exile? So that's where we got the complicated from, because no matter what we're going through, no matter where we are, no matter where we at, if our mindset is changed in the right position, then we still have the power to build and make things happen, even in the midst of being in exile and in complicated situations. So that's where, we got that from today.
And we also want to talk about number one is understand that the Israelites, they were
Yes.
actually promised the land of Canaan. So under the conditions of they had to be obedience to God's law. But the history of Israel is a sad story because they
You're
continually
right.
sinned. They continually sinned. They continually sinned. And also, God punished them for their unfaithfulness and sent them
Right.
into exile. Why?
Right.
because they didn't want to be obedient. So the problem of sin was solved by Jesus on the cross, and God will dwell eternally with everyone who believes in him. But we want everyone to understand that what was complicated about obeying God's law?
Was it complicated? Just what they chose not to do.
That's what they chose not to do.
Yes.
So it was them. So we're trying to get to the point of number one is if it's complicated or is it you, is things that you're actually in. Is it actually you or is actually complicated because you don't understand where
I
you
think for the
are?
majority of the time is us, is you. And the reason why I say that is we don't take the time to explore and figure out things. We just go with what we know because it's simpler, it's easier, it's more comfortable. And so the things that we have learned from childhood and up, and the things that we may have heard from other people, we don't search it, we don't research it, we just go with it. And so it's complicated because we don't have an understanding. Which, you know, the Bible tells us the people perish for what? The lack of knowledge. And knowledge is out there for us to learn
Yes.
and change our perspective, but it all boils down to, are you willing to do the work to do it? And so many people just not willing to do the work, to research, to do it. They say if you want to know anything, put it in a book. But if you ask people to read, are they really going to sit there and read a 283-page book? Because that's too much time for them. And so it's not really complicated. It's just that you're not willing to do the work to do it. And that's even for me. If it's something I don't want to do, then I'm not going to do it. And I can't blame you for what I choose not to do. It's because I made a conscious decision. My decision led me to whatever circumstance or consequence that came with it. And people have to live with the choices that they make.
And so we're going to run it. We're going to start right quick and bring somebody up. We're going to invite somebody else up and come on up. Come on up. If we're bringing you up, let's talk about it. Is complicated or is it you? Let's talk about it. Definitely come on up if we're inviting you. Come on up. Come on up. We're accepting you. Guess that person don't want to come up. The thing is, are you really ready to put that work in? Are you really ready to put that work in? What does work require for
Time,
somebody?
consistency, obedience, um, yeah,
Understanding.
yeah. But I think the hardest part for me, like, I can start the work sometime, but I have been a procrastinator and I'm not consistent with the work. But if you really want to see change, you're going to have to be consistent in the change. You just can't say you start one day and you work on it 3 days. Ain't nothing changing for me. Rome wasn't built in a day, so you have to keep doing it. You have to keep
Right.
repeating the cycle until one day it just click and it changes. But people don't want to give the time and consistency to make things change because to them it requires too much. And you think that this stuff is popcorn, it's just gonna happen overnight, and it doesn't. You have to remain committed to the mission, and you have to know that this is what you want. So it comes down to asking yourself, how bad do you want it? Because you can speak that you want it, but it could be just words. But when you really want something, you're gonna fight to the core to make sure it happens.
Right. And actually, when you're fighting things to make it happen, you got to understand where
Right.
you are in that fight. People
True.
don't know where they are in the fight. So how do we help them with that? How do they understand they're in that fight? Maybe they're still in exile and don't know they're in
Well,
exile.
I don't know how you will understand that you're not in exile unless you just delusional, because you have to be aware of where you are, and the only way you're not going to be aware of where you are is that you don't want to face truth. That's it. Um, like we talked about, the truth is going to prevail. It's going to happen. And so if you want to get out of those situations, you first going to have to face self. and you first gonna have to be truthful with where self is. And sometimes when those people coming to you and telling you about yourself, and you don't want to hear it, you ignore it, and you think that this they're saying this stuff to you because they're haters and they just want to, hate on you or whatever. Sometimes what people are saying to you is truth, but because you don't see yourself, you ignore what someone is saying. But sometimes take in consideration what people are saying, and you go home and you sit and you with yourself and you ask yourself, is this me? And you research and you do self-evaluations, you do self-checks, and then you see, your flaws. And then once you see it, a light will come on and you will begin to open up and see a lot of more things that people have said, and then change can take place if you want it to take place. But you have to be forthcoming with yourself first. That's what I think.
Right. And one of the people said, surround yourself with good people. And another way is self-reflection. And I love what that means, is self-reflection. Self-reflection meaning from that point of view that number one is, how are you looking at or having accountability and responsibility for exactly what you do? How?
Sometimes you have to find your accountability partner. It's hard to hold yourself accountable in some areas, and you have to have someone that's going to be truthful with you and tell you the hardcore truth about yourself. Now, all friends are not going to be that way, but there are some people that will hold you accountable to what you say that you're going to do. For me, I have a friend that holds me accountable, but I've learned how to hold myself accountable because I consistently do self-checks. I consistently do self-development skills. But that wasn't always true. And I had to face the fact that what some people was telling me about me, because in the past I was very nonchalant. It wasn't that I didn't care, is that I didn't know how to show I cared. And because of that, it caused a lot of issues with a lot of people. And I didn't believe a lot of people in the beginning. And so once I started self-reflecting, and people whom I could trust and I felt safe with will tell me, Rhonda, you can speak a little, more softer, or you can open yourself up a little bit more. You can be a little bit more vulnerable. So I think having an accountability partner is good, but if you can't, I think everybody can find it, but it has to be a willingness to find it, because a lot of people have trust issues. And so, but
Right.
again, that's on you. It's not on the person. It's on you with your trust issues. But if you can't find that, then you're going to have to find a way to spend time with self to really get to know yourself on a more intimate level. Because sometimes we think we know who we are, but until God reveals a lot of that, we really don't know who we are.
Right. And the one thing is, it says that I'm glad our international secretary is taking care of that issue in the chat, because we're having a lot of people come on and things, and we're trying to keep up. And Black Tiger Black said that, is it constructive? Is it complicated, or is it just self-destruction?
Is it complicated, or is it self-destruction?
Because sometimes we look at it from it's complicated.
I don't think stuff that's complicated is self-destruction. I can understand that when you allow things to be complicated, it can make things, destructive in your life. But if you learn knowledge of a thing, and all that get what? An understanding. And so if you have an understanding of things, it's not going to be a self-destruction scenario. But self-destruction is when you don't want to know. Sometimes self-destruction can be when you know and you just refuse to follow suit. So I don't think complicators and self-destruction are the same. They're just my opinion.
Right. And one Houston 23 said, make sure you can discern that the person telling you these things have the right heart posture. Because maybe the right heart posture or the wrong heart posture might lead you to
I do believe that you have to be very keen in discernment when you're dealing with people telling them things, because some people want to know things to destroy you. Because they can have a secret jealousy towards you, or anything. So I do feel that having discernment and people's heart is key to knowing when to share things with people, because you have to have a safe place. All places are not safe. All people are not good. All people's hearts are not in it for the right reason. So when you get to those situations,
Right.
you're gonna have to start depending on Christ to show you, Lord, show me this person that's in my life. Even when you come to relationship, if this person don't need to be here, reveal these things to me. And so I think that God has a way of revealing things to us that we never considered, especially when you're dealing with people and friends and having a safe place to release these things too. But I do think that people need a safe place to release things to.
And that's the thing is, and I know you described safe place, and most people think safe places are different places and in people too as well. But what is a safe
My
place?
definition of a safe place is when, because
Oh,
I did have a lot of trust issues. I didn't trust people with my stuff. And so because I didn't trust people with my stuff, I dealt with everything alone. And that's not always good, because when you deal with things alone, you come up with your own assumptions. And there's no one there to help you challenge your own assumptions and thoughts. So whatever comes to your mind, that's your truth in that moment, until someone comes and challenges that truth. So for my safe place is a person that doesn't judge, my choices. Not that they don't challenge me on my choices, but they understand, okay, this is a choice that you made, but Rhonda, have you tried X, Y, and Z? Or Rhonda, did you think about it X, Y, Z? And so where I don't continually assume the wrong things, I have someone that I could call and I'm like, well, I just need to vent for a minute. And it's somewhere that I can call and I can vent to. And like, I'm not a huge cusser, but when I'm mad, sometimes I go to cussing. So I can call this person and I can just let it blow, and they have no judgment towards that. But after I get it all out, then they're going to come back to me first with encouragement, and then reassurance, and then something that I can, some type of strategy to help me get over the hump so I can grow and look at it different ways. So there's someone that's my safe place, someone that I don't have to sugarcoat nothing with. I don't have to be, because I'm a social worker at work, and I'm a mother, because we all have different roles and different things we have to play. But with my safe place, I'm able to relate all that. I'm able to release all that, and I know that it's not going to go anywhere but there.
so I want to explain safe place for me because sometimes a safe place not even within myself. A safe place can be so far from me being with me. Sometimes a safe place for me is going outside of me. And what does that mean? Pulling myself outside and flipping myself inside out so I can trust who I'm not. Sometimes we're not okay in that just being with us. And that's just for me. Because basically sometimes we can think ourselves so deep down the rabbit hole. And thought process and also just thinking. Some of my safe place sometimes are church. I would actually go and when especially one time when Easter Sunday had come up, I actually went to the Catholic Church and just sat there. And somebody said, as a trans man, how can I trust myself as it took so long to get to that point? My thing is, first of all, who are you as a trans man? And we have to look at that piece because sometimes in it, you still have a piece of you before you transformed. So have you really released that person that you were before you transformed? And are you still having trust issues from before you transform? Because if those trust issues and that healing has not taken place, then you're still going to bring those issues from your previous
Yep,
person to where you are now.
that's true.
What's your thoughts,
I
Veronica?
agree. If you are transitioning and you are a trans man, then there was some healing that needed to take place so you don't bring those same issues over into your new identity. You got a complete identity switch. And so in having an identity switch, everything surrounding you is going to have identity switch. And those healings is going to have to take place in order for you to live the life that you have chosen to live. And so yeah. So in order to trust you, you're going to first have to be honest with where you are and who you are, and then just move forward. Because everybody's not going to understand that part of you. But it doesn't matter what people don't understand. It's all about what you understand and you and what you want to do. It doesn't make you less of a person or anything like that. You just have to be honest with who you are
Right.
and where you want to be and where you want to go. And once you figure those things out, everything else will fall into place for you. That's just my opinion.
And one thing I have to tell people that the thing is in this whole life that you must
Mm-hmm.
heal from the first. Got to heal. Then you ask God for forgiveness too, as well, for whatever happened. But then again, still understand
Right.
that God loves all. He loves all. And then you have to be in the right place at the right time. And I think Educator Wells said it best. It takes
Mm-hmm.
time to complete that transformation. Be
Yeah.
patient with yourself. But the thing is, who you were before, if some of those issues are still there, you gotta
Yep.
heal that piece first. You gotta heal that piece
I don't
first.
think nothing in life, no matter what transition you're making in life, um, whatever the decision or whatever transition you're making, you can't make a total transformation or transition until you deal with the past. Because when you don't deal with the past, you're making a transition on a rocky foundation. So if you want your foundation to be solid, you first going to have to go back to the beginning or wherever the trauma, the issue, the pain, or wherever that come from. You're going to have to go back to that and confront it in order to go forward and build a solid foundation for you to have what you need. I really feel like sometimes people want platforms, build their own platforms and get on platforms they're not prepared for. But if you want success in life and whatever choices you make, you have to be prepared. And in being prepared, you first have to heal.
Yes. And that's the whole thing is we talk about it, it's complicated, or is it you? The most thing that I tell people, when something complicated, what's your accountability and responsibility in that complication? How were you the enabler in the complication? Because some people enable
Yeah, because of
complication.
lack of understanding. And then, yeah.
Yes. So how did you truly understand that entanglement or that situation or someone that you feel that is complicated with? How did you bring forth that? Or what was your accountability responsibility for it? Somebody asked, I am sure as a social worker you find that others look to you as their safe
Yes, they
place.
do. And in being a social worker and people look at you like that, you out for me, when people constantly bringing you issues and issues and issues and issues, I have to know when enough is enough because it's draining. It is very draining, and things can become very complicated because you're trying to help everybody else and you're leaving yourself out. So that's why I have to have self evaluation, self reflection, self development time because if I don't, I can't help them. I can't give from an empty cup. So if my cup is empty, then I'm failing my people. And therefore, I have to make sure that I'm prepared for the task that's before me. Because if I'm not, then everything gonna be complicated to me. One, because I'm not understanding, and two, because I'm stressed to freak out. So, um, yes, social workers and teachers and they have it really, really hard because so much is on them, and that's why I'm saying that it is you because you have to do the work to make sure you're prepared for the platform that's out there for you to help these people. It just is there's no way you can maintain with an empty cup. There's just no way.
Right. We got another question out here. I feel trans is mental, at least with me. I spend a lot of time raising awareness, helping others with severe mental health. But here is my part, and I'm gonna come with that. Number one is, as I always first state, that I used to be a therapist, and I want y'all to really understand that. That I was out calling myself trying to therapeutically heal people. I had to leave that situation because I wasn't healed. And what am I saying about that? I'm saying that sometimes you might want to do so much empowering. How have you not healed yourself? You got to heal yourself first, because the thing is, what I did, and I can say this from my personal perspective, I had to remove myself. I might have thought I was doing good work, but I was compounding the trauma. I was compounding the trauma more and more with what I was dealing with and what everybody else was dealing with. And I never washed my own things away. I was only washing their things away. But so we still have to go to the fact that number one is people still have to be in charge of where you are mentally, because that's important. The mental perspective could be, is it complicated or is it me? So that's something, and you want to respond to that, Rhonda?
Well, I forgot the question, which
about trying to help people from a mental perspective.
I say this: two broken people cannot heal each other. And I know that it's cliche, you know, people want to get in relationships, they want to get in professions, and they want to do all this healing, they want to do all this empowerment, they want to do all this motivation. But the truth be told, until you are healed, you really can't relate to someone that's in those type of situations. Because either it's going to start triggering you, and you're going to be offended and upset, and then you're going to put your personal bias into the situation. And so you have to be healed from all those things so you can effectively help someone else that's dealing with mental things. And I know a lot of time people are in like toxic relationships because you are trying to get something from somebody that they don't have to give.
Yeah.
And so you get frustrated because you need fulfilling, but the person you're dealing with also needs fulfilling. So y'all are looking for each other to fulfill something that neither one of you have. And so I say there are a lot of people in therapy. There are a lot of people in positions that want to do good, but they just don't have it to give. And until you heal and you deal with your own mental things, then you really are not a benefit to anyone else. It's just my opinion. You have to figure it out before you can help someone else figure it out. Because and if you don't, both of y'all is just like the blind leading the blind, which we figure. And it's okay if you get someone y'all want to figure it out together. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but somebody has to be healed in order for this to be a success, because you're going to keep pulling from me, I'm going to keep pulling from you, and we both just sitting here dry. So the water got to come from somewhere. So I'm just, you're going to have to heal yourself.
Right. And we have another question on the board. And please, you guys, if you're trying to, I'm trying to roll through these questions. So ask your questions on the chat. Please do not personally text me your questions because I can't go to my text. Do you believe that believing you are a different gender than the biological gender is a mental health crisis? I don't personally believe that because I don't know. My thing is only that person knows, and I'm in my born gender, and I think that's something that somebody who is going through that only you know. I can't believe in any of in what that meant as far as a mental health crisis, because the number one thing is I haven't gone through any of that transition, so I don't have a belief in that. So my belief is you will only know if that's a mental health crisis.
And I agree. I can't tell what someone else is going through. Right. I'm not in no one else's body to determine what they feel inside their body. My job is to love them in whatever choices that they make. I only know for LaRonda what I want and who I am. So if someone is
Right.
having some type of issues in their body and they feel a certain way, that's them. And I don't judge that. You know, that's between them and whoever and you whatever. But it has no reflect on me. My job, if God or who I believe in, because I know everybody don't believe in Christianity. I get that. I'm not in here for any of that. But we are commissioned to love. And so I can't say what someone feels in their body, and I can't judge the decisions that someone makes that for themselves to better themselves. I only know what I believe, and that's on me. But whether it's mental or not, I don't know. Only they gonna know that. And if they figure out for themselves and they be honest with their truths, they're gonna figure it out for themselves as well. So we just have to give people time and space to do what they do and love them in, and do what we can for them while we are able.
And what we must understand that we got to understand, we only want to send positive messages out here to each and every one. So those who are sending different messages that are not the thing, and no, I'm not high. So the one thing which I have to understand at any given time, I will block you. And I blocked
I'm
about
not
13
Oprah
people
Winfrey.
now. So I'm just going to be, guys, please come on here with positive information and positive affirmation, meaning that number one is this is something that is dear and to each and every one of us. And most of the time, you are dealing with this since you want to come on here and talk about things like that, because basically you can't deal with yourself. So we must understand, number one is, please come on here with positive affirmations and things like that so we can continue on with the discussion. Thank you. So, is it complicated or is it you? So let's continue on, because basically we keep channeling. I can't even
I
read some
can't
of these
catch them.
comments because they're
But
coming.
anyway,
Yeah, it is.
right,
It's going so fast. I want people to understand. Number one is we have to understand that we want to be involved in positive conversation here on
right,
Sunday Jewels on the Rise, because that is what we're about. This is not hating on anyone. Anybody is welcome to join in, only with
right.
positive
Because you got to
information.
understand, this is not to bash anybody. It's not to make anyone feel bad. It's from our perspective and our belief. So it's not anything towards you or the choices that you make. We just want to put out a knowledge and wisdom that we have gained from our life experiences. It has nothing directly reflected to you. So I hope nothing that we say is taken personal, or you assume that we're saying
Right.
something that we're not. So if we say something you don't understand, just ask for clarification and we'll give that to you. But this is just from personal journeys. That's it. It's not nothing to make anyone feel bad or judge them or anything like that, because who are we to judge? We all got our own flaws. We all got our own issues. And again, that
And,
goes to, is it complicated or is it you? And 9 times out of 10 is going to be you for lack of understanding.
and what we want to do is thank those who have asked questions. And hopefully that we won't get all these other things. International Secretary is watching.
Yeah.
Shout out to International Secretary. Hello, everyone. If you come and join on the stage, come on in. We had so many people come through here that I'm trying to wave at everyone, but thank you all for joining. Beautiful souls. Somebody said something. It's going like truly fast here today. I don't know what happened. We all about sending positivity, sending love, light, and virtual hugs. And we must understand that. We must understand that. We must understand that. We came on here to talk about definitely that, yes, positive comments only. We are merely having a one-on-one conversation. But we do invite other people in. But guess what? You better come on with some good conversation. You will easily get blocked. So the conversation is complication. let's talk about some things that people
Ooh,
are
Lord.
complicated in.
Communication. Communication
Situations.
situations. Uh,
Communication
relationships.
situations. Uh,
Yeah.
job. It's really
Yeah.
what I want to do,
Life
my
itself.
career.
Because this day and time, life is not easy. I mean, it is so much going on in the world. We're in the middle of a pandemic for the last 2 years.
Right.
It's just so much stress. It's a lot going on, and so it's complicated. But even in the midst of all that's going on, you still have the power to build. You still have the power to plant.
Right.
You still have the power to give birth. And I'm not talking about a natural birth, but birth to purpose. But it's all going to be determined on the decisions you make. And one is to change your subconscious. Like we can speak everything that we want and we can write it down. And it all sounds so wonderful. But what comes to play is we don't want to take the time to do the work to reprogram and change our narratives and changing our subconscious to make things happen, even in the midst of everything that's going on. Life is complicated. I don't care what nobody say. It is complicated, complicated. But we have the power to make things happen if we want to make it happen. And it's all going to fall back to you. What do you want for your life? Who do you see yourself becoming? What is your vision? What is your goals? Have you ever sat down to think about what is my purpose? Because a lot of people don't know their purpose. But once you know your purpose, you can follow suit and start building dreams and goals surrounding that. And you have to be willing to sacrifice yourself and your time to get that did. YouTube is a teacher for everybody. There is nothing that you can't know because
Yeah.
everything you need to know is on YouTube.
Right.
There is no book that you can't read because now books read to you. So, so there is no excuse to not build in exile. There's no excuse not to plant while you're in complicated times and situations. There's no excuse not to give birth to purpose because it's too much information out there for us to be laying dormant and and unskilled and unknowledge. It's just too much.
And the one thing we definitely have to understand that God gives us the authority and give us power to help us make those things happen. But the first thing is we need to be obedient to Him. Just like the Israelites were, they was conditioned, and they had to be they had to be obedient to God's laws. So the one thing is, if you're not obedient to God's laws,
Yeah,
then things happen.
that's true. But first, they have to understand what is obedient to God laws. Those are things that have to be taught, and it's going to take time to teach those things. But you have to remember, everybody don't believe in God. Everybody doesn't believe. Everybody doesn't
Yeah,
believe. Yeah.
higher
So
power,
whatever your
whoever it
higher calling
is.
is, because some people say universe, some people say it is whatever that is. People have to have an understanding of what obedience is because we all have different definitions of what words mean. So when we're
Yes.
saying being obedient to God, what does that look like? Because some people are obedient to the wrong things, but that's in my perspective. So they have to have an understanding of what that is before they can follow suit with it. And that's going to take people who are willing to stand up and teach. And now a lot of people don't want to teach because in order to teach, you got to have knowledge and wisdom. And in order to get knowledge and wisdom, you got to read and you got to research and you got to learn some things. Study to show thyself approved. And so, yeah, so it's just a lot that goes into that. And people have to sacrifice to get that done. And it all going to fall, it's all going to fall back to you. Everything that we do and don't do falls back to who we are. It has nothing to do with the next person.
But understanding that who we are too as well, what does that mean for us? Meaning that who are we? And then I want to point out to people that's on the line right now, do you know who you really are? And
Not
that's
what
an
you
important
do,
question.
because a lot of people,
Not what you do.
because you know, a
Who
lot of
are
people, when
you?
you say who are you, I'm a mama, I'm a daughter, I'm a nurse. And these are titles, and these are things that you do, and so we're not talking about that.
Right.
But who are you, beyond, you know, the visible mask? Like, some people really have behind a mask that you can't see. So who are you when you take this mask off at home? Who are you?
And I just came over on a thing what's it called? Don't be strong, be a lady. And I just got through talking with them on Clubhouse, and my biggest question is what's your
And
definition of
you
strong?
know, as a Black woman, I'm tired of people calling me strong, because you know why? Because strong women or men, they overlooked, and they think because I'm so strong I don't have
Yeah.
issues. That's not true. I have just as many issues as anybody
Yes.
else. I just have a different way to deal with my issues. But it doesn't mean that I don't have moments where I cry. It doesn't mean that I just, you know, bypass everything. That doesn't mean that. So I'm tired of people calling me strong. I'm not strong. I just
Yes.
have a different way to do things. And I know that I have someone on the other side fighting for me. My strength is in God. That's
Right.
who I trust. And so when I'm weak, he's strong. But when people say you're such a strong woman, that means that you're not seeing me. You only seeing a part of me. And when people say, well, you can't be stopped, well, I can be stopped. I just choose not to be stopped, because there's a greater purpose
Right.
inside of me that I'm fighting for. And so I don't like when people say that. And used to be a very strong cliche. I'm a strong Black woman, but no,
Uh-huh.
no.
I definitely put into the perspective of in that group was why can't you be a
I can
lady and
I can see
strengthen me?
that.
Because what we have to understand that people are continuously saying, I just I have to be strong for this, I have to be strong for that.
And
But
the
are
thing
you really
about it, when
strong?
you portray that image of strong, you suffer in silence. And the strong ones
Yes.
are the ones that's not checked on, are the ones that we're having to see committing suicide and doing certain stuff because people don't see them. And if you don't have a
Right.
strong sense of discernment to discern where they are spiritually, then they're ignored. And so my thing is, stop putting that label on people, because you don't know how strong someone
Yes.
is behind closed doors. They may not be as strong as you think they are. It may just be a mask that they wear because they have to be that way.
But I wanna put out in the atmosphere, stop telling people you're
Yes,
strong
be
when you're
honest with
not.
where you are. And it's okay to say, I am not okay. I love my best friend, and you know, there's something she was constantly saying, I am not okay.
Yes. And I always tell people it's okay
Yes,
not to be okay. And I tell them that because sometimes in your complicated situation, whatever that may be, you have to stop and say,
right.
I'm not okay. And if you don't communicate that to that person or that thing, guess what? You walk
Mhm.
out mad and just ticked off because basically you
You
have not
haven't.
said that
And
to
you
that
don't know
person.
what mindset someone is in that moment. So stop suffering in silence with saying, I'm strong, I got this. No, you don't have this. You need help. And if people can't, people are not mind readers. And so if you're not opening your mouth to say what you need, people just don't know. So it's okay to say, okay, I need to vent, or I need help with groceries. I know I need just a break because these kids about to drive me totally nuts. You know, it's okay to say those things, and people will be, you know, willing to help, because there's some people who just want to help other people, but they can't help if you don't talk about what you need.
Right.
UK,
Hey,
my
how
brother.
are you? And
Big
again.
up from the UK. Yeah,
All right.
brother, where are
Thank you,
you
sir.
from? I'm from the
Where are you
UK,
from? The UK. I'm in
Washington,
Washington.
D.C.
Yes, in
Bro,
the United States. What do you have on this topic? We're talking
okay,
about
what
it's
are we
complicated
talking about,
or
bro?
is
What's the
it you?
topic? Sorry about
It's complicated or
it. It's
is it you?
complicated or is it me? Bro, it's me. It's not complicated. You know what it is? No, bro. Is it? What was the
Yeah.
question again, bro?
It's complicated or is it you?
Bro, your fate is written, but you have the freedom of your will. So, yeah, it is me, man, bro. Sorry, but what was the question?
It's
One
you.
last time. Sorry, but I forgot. Sorry about this.
And I'm glad you came and said that because sometimes we have to understand that it
Bro,
is
it's
us.
us, bro. God, bro. Are you what religion are you, bro? If you don't mind me asking.
And the thing is, we don't discuss
No,
religion and
yeah,
things
my
like
dad.
that on here
Yeah,
because we do have
yeah, you don't. Okay.
to say.
So basically, you choose your own path.
Yes.
That's true. He said
So
you choose your own
Say it
path.
again.
It's all about
Path. He said you
Own
choose
path.
your own path.
Oh yes, you choose your own path. Yes.
So right now we are all brainwashed and we're being misdirected. Bro, we're living in a different type of world where you and me was brought up in. Right now it's a different type of world. Bro, me and you
You're
were brought
correct
up with
about that. You're
morals,
very.
beliefs, ethics, and principles, bro. You know what I'm saying? But the youth
I
today,
totally agree.
they don't have this. Bro, if you, oh, bro, what was that, bro? Oh, I got, what do you stand for? What was that thing? If you accept everything, then what do you stand for? You stand for nothing, bro.
And we
Do
stand
you
for nothing.
understand
We
this?
understand that. Thank you. Thank you definitely for joining in. If we can get somebody else
Sorry?
online, okay? I said we want
Oh,
to get somebody
okay.
else online. Can you hang
No
up and get
problem,
somebody
brother.
else online?
Take care. You yeah.
All
Take
right,
care,
thank
bro.
you and have a good one. And thanks for joining
Take
on the
care, my bro.
UK,
Follow
okay?
you, man. Yeah,
All
bro.
right, have a good one. Thank you.
Love. My brother, love.
All right. Hey, see, we have somebody all the way from the UK. If we accept anything, we stand for nothing. We want people to come up. We got a couple of more minutes. Who that said they want to come up? Let's see who this is. Come on in.
Hey,
We're
Pastor.
bringing you in.
How you doing today?
Hey, how you doing? I'm doing well. It's complicated or is it you?
It's complicated.
It's complicated. Tell us
These
more.
females, man, they always, I don't know, they always are trying to play games with me. I don't know. I don't know how to fix that issue.
So here's my question. Are you holding yourself
It's not
accountable?
my fault though. It's not my fault
Huh?
that
What's not your fault?
females can't be loyal nowadays.
And I understand what you're saying, but the thing is, what's your accountability in this?
I could do
Can
better at
you
fixing.
can you explain what you mean by females can't be loyal these days? Because I need clarification because that's not true on my behalf. So I
I
need clarification.
mean, I don't know, because every female I know get crazy, so, you know,
You
but
say that again.
every female I ever met in my life did me crazy.
What
So
do you mean they be crazy? I need and the reason I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm not judging what you're saying, but I need to understand what do you mean when they be going crazy? Like what are they doing to you?
all right, so you ever talk to somebody and you want them to just do certain things, and uh And by certain things, I don't mean that. I'm talking about as far as like just so to better yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they don't and they don't
Okay.
follow what you want them to do, right? But they know you and they know what you mean. They know already, and they still
So,
doing what you don't like.
so my question is, if they're doing what you don't like, why do you remain in the situation? Because you have the right to leave and find someone that will do it, but you can't find someone that you can control all the time. So you're going to have to be able to compromise and build a solid foundation through communication. So the
That's
girls, is it
that's
that
true.
they're so
That's
is it
true.
that the girls are crazy, or is that you jumping in things without getting to know the person before you falling in love?
And I have to give you this. I don't know your name,
It's CMGX.
young person here,
My
but
name is CMGX. I'm a
that
rapper.
again. Okay, DMDX. One thing is, my question is to you is, are you sticking your
I'm
hand in
sticking
the
a whole
cookie
lot in the
jar?
cookie jar. I'm sticking a whole
That's
lot
the
in the cookie
issue
jar.
there.
You hear
In the
me?
Bible, we can't do that.
But you a man, so
We
you know
can't do
how
that.
you know how.
No, my thing is, we have to wait for marriage. If you always sticking your hand in the cookie jar, ain't no cookies gonna be left.
Yeah,
And you can't keep blaming the girls for being loyal and crazy.
Right. That means you're
You're
thinking
going to
with the
have to
wrong
learn to
perception.
communicate what it is that you want and what it is that you feel, and whatever you have endured in your pain in your last relationship, you're going to have to heal from that before you take it in your next relationship, because it may not be the girls, it may be you making it complicated because of
oh, it's
you
me.
have not healed from your past.
And what are some of the things that you're dealing with? Because I hear you say you want to give them up, but guess what? Maybe some of the girls that you're dealing with
Right.
don't want to
That's
come up
that's
like
also
that.
true, but you know,
But you can't say they're not loyal.
all right. So it's more about
Because the thing is, at the end of the day, if you're trying to move them somewhere they don't want to be, how can they move? Then you call it not being loyal. That means they just don't want to. Maybe they
Or
can't
I
maybe
just
they
feel
just
like
don't
communicate that
want
to
it.
you.
every girl should just do what I want, you know, because
That's not reality, hun. um that's not reality. So that's telling me, and I don't know you from a can of paint, from what I'm hearing from you is that you want to be in control.
yeah, because you look that comment right there. He said we can't trust the B words. That's fact. You should pin that one.
That's not always true. You can't trust the one you're choosing.
But what? All right. So what if I told you that I had 5 different girls doing the same thing?
So who ain't the loyal one? If you have five
Exactly.
different girls
That's
doing the
not true.
same thing, the girl is
You
not
might
the
want to get off
girl.
here because I don't want your girls coming over here saying something.
So
You
because he
see,
ain't
I
loyal,
mean,
he projecting that on the females.
and we're not laughing. We're not laughing because he
Right.
talked about being loyal, but then he
Doing the
got 5 different
same
women
thing.
doing something. So who's not loyal? So we want to make sure when you come on, make sure you got your ducks in a row.
Right.
But thank you for coming on. Who else we want to bring up that quick?
Bless it. Oh
No, we got
Lord.
4 more people. Okay, we got somebody joining. How you doing? Where you from? Hello?
Curiosity. Hello.
Okay. Where are you from?
Zawad.
Hmm?
Say that again. Is that a
نعم.
cigarette?
I can't.
Where are you from?
عراقي.
Iraqi. You're from Iraq. Okay. Do you speak
نعم.
English? A little bit?
I can't.
Yes or no? Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna have to get somebody else in because we can't hear you. Can you hang up the phone?
I can't hear nothing.
I can't either. Can you hang up the
Somebody say
phone?
next.
Can you hang it up?
Somebody is coming in.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? Turn your camera on. We want to see you. What's your name? Hello?
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, what's your name? Where you from?
Morocco.
Morocco. How are you? All right. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep going. We're bringing them on. We're bringing them on. We got 3 more minutes. 3 more minutes. We want to go ahead and get some of the people in. Please accept the request if we're bringing you in. We're bringing you in. We got 3 minutes.
I
Hey, how
I
you
am
doing?
fine. I'm sorry. I'm talking to
Where
the
are you
yeah,
calling from?
yeah, I'm sorry.
Oh, we got
Yeah,
people
yeah, yeah.
in.
But I'm fine now. I'm trying to follow your life. It's a very very fun life. You are a very intelligent guy. I want to ask to
Thank
her,
you.
uh, she's psychologist or what?
am I a psychologist?
Yes,
No, I'm not.
you are not psychologist,
Mm-mm. I know, sir, I'm not.
but the way you talk, I can say that you are a psychologist.
Okay. So what's your
My
name,
name is
sir?
Carlos. Carlos. Uh, Yes,
Carlos. And where you
yes.
calling
I
from?
live. I live in Switzerland.
Switzerland. Welcome,
Yes, I live in
Switzerland.
Switzerland.
So
Yeah,
ask
yeah,
the question.
yeah,
Carlos. Carlos. Here's the
yeah.
question. It's complicated or is it you?
I didn't understand. Sorry,
It's
sorry.
complicated. It's complicated or is it you?
No, it's me.
Okay, tell
It's
us
me.
more.
It's me. I,
Tell us what do you mean by it's you?
whatever you want to ask, I can tell about me.
Okay, let us know
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
Carlos.
If you want to know about me, yeah, you want to know about my
It,
life.
but, yes. Why is it so complicated?
I'm so sorry. My English is not very good. I speak French.
Oh, we understand. We don't speak French, but you can come back on, okay? Thank
Okay,
you.
okay.
Mhm.
All right, all right. We're gonna bring one more person back on until we. Minnie is coming on. Minnie, come on in. Come on in, and we're gonna end the live after this. And we want you guys to join us every Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time too as well. I just can't kept you in, Uncle Mike. Where are you? Uncle Mike, you ready? Uncle Mike with the pipe. Come on in, Uncle Mike with the pipe.
How y'all doing?
How you doing?
How's y'all Sunday
Great,
going?
great,
Wait,
My name is
great.
Mike.
What's your name?
I'm calling from New
And
York.
where are you calling from?
New York is in the
New
building, you
York, New
heard?
York. Yeah. The conversation is, it's complicated or
Hmm.
is it you?
That's a great question. I think that question went over a lot of people's heads. Nah, I
No,
didn't go
I
over
hope it didn't
mine.
go over your head, Mike. Keep somebody from Uncle Mike.
Feel me? You feel me?
Yes. So is it
Okay,
complicated or is
sweetheart.
it
It's
you?
definitely me. If there's a
Okay,
problem, there's a
tell
way.
us more. Also, there's a problem, there's a
You
way.
gotta
How do
handle
you
that
handle
problem
that?
with the utmost respect, because that problem could lead to different more problems. It could just carry on. So if you,
Yeah. So
yep, and if you take care of that
find a
one problem,
solution.
maybe the other problems won't come up.
Okay, I understand. So when do we come on? Did you hear that? We said we come on every Sunday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we want you on next week. We're going to end right now. Just let them know. Give them words of
Man, if
wisdom
y'all
before
have a
we leave.
problem and y'all feel like y'all can't go through it, praise the Lord and praise Jesus. He gonna get you and he gonna find you a way. Simple as that. If you keep your head high, you
Amen.
keep,
Amen. You hear that straight from Uncle Mike,
yup.
all the way from New York. All right.
Ask Sanaya.
Thank you, Uncle
Sanaya.
Mike, for joining. All right. As we brought up our live studio audience, I am so happy and elated for this day. Is complicated or is it you? Make sure you tell your friends because we will be back on next Sunday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Rhonda, before we leave here, what words of encouragement you have for
My
them?
word of encouragement for today is know the power that resides inside of you. No one can take that from you, and no one can tell you what it is and what it is not. You have the power to move mountains if you choose to move mountains. So never underestimate your power. And if you want things to change, then you are the one to look at. So take a look in the mirror and know that you are worth it and you are valuable and you can do it. And that is my word for today.
And understand if you want to come on next week. And thank you, Miss Rhonda, for those words. And just go follow her at Jules Mentoring LLC as well because she is a great person. And also know that number one is stop cheating on your own peace of mind. That's important for everyone. If you don't have peace of mind right now, you're twirling around in circles, you got to
That's
stop
true.
cheating on your own self. Stop cheating on your own self. So guess what? When you are put up against the wall, always know that God said as long as you keep your mind stayed on him, he will keep you in perfect peace. As we leave here, as we've gone over 3 minutes, guess what? Tell a friend, tell a foe, tell your spouse, heck, tell everyone. We'll see you next Sunday right here on Instagram Live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can actually go to Podbean too as well and www.therise.live to actually go to the archives. Only got to do is click the link in my bio and see other podcast things that we have established too as well. We thank you as we continue on. Come on Tuesday nights, not on Instagram Live, but we'll be on Podbean and we'll be talking about perception versus ideology. What does that mean? Come and stay tuned, and we'll be on 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, and 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Yes, we have shows, but more important, come on this one, Sunday Jewels on the Rise, and that's 5 p.m. Central Standard Time and 6 p.m. Eastern Standard
Good
Time.
night.
Good night.